How are you all doing? Good. Welcome to U2 Goes AR. My name is David D. Cristofaro. I'm the Business Development and Partnerships Lead for Interactive Images.
And I'm Evgeny Mandelshtam, CEO and founder of Immerse Lab, the production company behind this.
And we are bringing mixed reality technology to major artists and live events and fan experiences. My work that led Eugene and I to connect on this project has primarily been working with major headlining artists in music and developing different types of interactive merch, VIP items, and then also 3D activations and experiences like we did for you too. But it started with a photo album book. Our company did this with One Republic, and this is how we got connected. As you know, you might recognize the song from a movie that happened to be out at the time that did very well, Top Gun Maverick. And so we were able to correlate some of the video promo for the music video, Top Gun Maverick, to our VIP laminates that went with the photo books that we gave away as a VIP item to their fans that bought these packages and bundles for the different dates on their summer tour. This is an interactive record that you can get right now. It just came out. This was an idea that I developed with our team and that our client manager rolled out. And we have this available right now on shelves. You can go into stores and even into Target and walk up, and with their new Artificial Paradise app that our company developed, you can play the interactive record cover off the new album that just came out. Tate McRae, who's out on tour, just wrapped a summer tour. That poster, which was available in her merch booth, was another project that I developed with our team that got rolled out. And then also, in this particular part of the world, a project that I helped develop that you might find interesting was, in addition to the interactive stuff that we did stateside, we did a project for K-pop band ITZY, an interactive postcard where you can upload and connect your greetings, your content, different things that you gather at the concerts in a reel and send it to somebody for them to unlock and watch it play right off the postcard. We developed a number of items for major artists, but also for major brands. And we make them interactive in a way that generates and creates smart data opportunities and participation, personalization experiences for fans. And also advertising, which is a lot of fun too, and signage. Eugene, would you like to tell them about Immerse Lab?
Yeah, Immerse Lab was founded in 2018 in Russia, in Moscow, and from the first we focused on connecting augmented reality and expanded reality to live events. And actually with one of our projects, which you now see on the screen, we won an Augie Award in 2022, and that's exactly where we met with David.
That's where we became friends.
Yeah, and that's exactly the starting point of the project which we are telling you right now with U2, because our company, Immerse Lab, is focused in doing AR shows with live events. And it's kind of a particular thing with a very special type of combination of expertise, because we always need to understand how the show works with a wider audience. For example, this show, which you see, the Van Gogh show, we made with the biggest museum in Russia, Pushkin Museum, which is like the largest Russian museum. Oh, can you stop it for a second?
Nope.
No? Okay, no worries. And the thing is, we're always thinking about doing the show which people will be seeing live on the street. and it will be crowds of people. Actually, it's kind of a different dynamics because we've done a lot of shows for a smaller audience. For example, in this hall, it's very easy to do a AR show with pictures, with some images here, with interactive AR experiences for 20, 40, maybe even 100 people. But it's come to absolutely different kind of a production when we do something for thousands of people who are downloading and watching content on the street right now. And that's exactly what we've done with LG Signature and Pushkin Museum and Van Gogh pieces, where we've done with the 8th wall in Niantic. Love the guys, it was so cool to work with this engine. We've done this interactive museum, like 3-dimensional museum just on the street, where you can go to this museum exhibition and check it. And like after 4 months of promoting it, it was, I can say, around a million people who visited this experience on the street of Moscow, which we counted was one of the biggest exhibitions in Russia, and we are super proud to do it. So I think most of people who came there first met with the Van Gogh, with our exhibition. It was super cool.
And that's how we connected, was over our mutual love of augmented reality and impressionist art. This is another project that Immerse Labs was connected with American Express and Vodafone.
It's a thing which we were just like partly connected with this production, but I wanted to show it to show this kind of technology behind it, because it's kind of a show you're watching through the live show, live concert on a stadium. And these kind of things David and me now are producing, and it's actually one of the things we're thinking for YouTube. For their live show in Sphere.
Another major artist, yeah. And the animations are interactive, so they're pre-programmed to interact with very specific sounds, so that each song generates a different sequential animation. The pre-programmed.
We are tracking the sound, the parts of the song to connect it, with the animation. Yeah.
So we connected over these things, and several years later, when this came together with you too, I was able to reach out to Evgeny and say, hey, I think I found the first project that we can work on together. And so that came by way of a partnership that I set up with Full Stop Management. It's owned by the Azovs and run by Irving Azov's son. It's one of the biggest executives in music, one of the biggest talent agencies in music. And they reached out back to us about a week out from the opening of the Sphere shows that they were doing, and asked us if we could do this activation. And what that looked like was they had the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign that people see as they're entering Las Vegas. It's a destination that people line up to take photos at, and they wanted to create a 3D augmented reality activation on the sign that people could walk up to and interact with and take their own content with and things like that. So what we did was we coordinated this with U2's management and with their creative director, Gavin Friday. And Eugene and I worked together with our respective teams to get this ready. Now, this wasn't easy. As you can imagine, anybody who's worked on anything on our side of that knows that a week lead time is not a lot of time when you're developing and building something. We even did it twice while on this week. When
they
asked us to do that, they didn't provide a visual to work off of right away. So we started with this, and a whole weekend passed before we were given this next graphic, which, as you can see, is very different looking. We then found out after this that it was not what they wanted on the sign, though. So we went through several visuals before we landed on this particular item, which they asked us if we could make. They sent us this video clip and asked us if we could make this on the Welcome to Las Vegas sign.
It was super funny because I think this last thing which we actually used finally in our show, it was, I think, 2 nights before the premiere in Las Vegas. And David called me and said, like, Gavin doesn't like everything. Like, we should do something other, something new. And then we saw the video clip of this music video, and we said, like, okay, maybe we just recreate what they have in a music video just in augmented reality. Let's make it. And we still had just 2 nights, 1 day, a lot of energetics.
And Red Bull.
Yeah, Red Bull
Lots
budget
of Red
was
Bull.
exceeded.
Yeah. Yes. As you can see, we gave them a couple options. Now, at this point, we're a week out from opening. They have to approve a budget for this. So we gave them 2 choices. We could either build an 8th wall at one price point, or we could build it directly into their Instagram at another price point. For where we were at in the production, they chose the second price point. We built it into their Instagram, where fans are able to go up, click on the filter. You'll see a live video clip of our activation with a little camera widget that you can click on and point at the sign, and it'll transform it into what you see there. Fans are able to walk up and take pictures and video and then post it directly to their feed with the new single, Atomic City, synced to play on the post. So it acted as a participatory way for fans to generate their own content and interact with the activation while also promoting the release of the new song. And so when we got into that, obviously the Sphere is this massive thing, you know, that we were working around, and, you know, we were scaling around the sign. And so we had members of our team on site at the sign, and then members of your team in a totally different part of the world, totally different time zones. And we were basically working across several time zones with the people that were working on this. We had for example, our friend Flavio, who is doing the UX testing on this, was in California. I was in New York, I think, or in
Yeah, you've been in New
Massachusetts,
York,
right? I was in the Northeast, and then you were in...
and I was in Turkey at the moment. And it was challenging because, okay, we produced all the animations and graphics for this scenario, for this effect on Spark AR. Let's say together, rest in peace. Sorry.
Too soon?
Too shit. Yeah, anyway, we still needed to work on the tracking because we needed people to come to the venue, come to this direct place in Las Vegas, put their phones before this sign to track it, and it should work smoothly. And it also should put our virtual sign, all these animations, exactly on the point where is this sign. And I know all people here know all these small details of like different lights in the daylight and the night light, all the differences from the different angles. So we made, I think, up to 100 different photos. Not we.
To work off of, to try to scale from a distance without being there physically on site, right?
Yeah, just to train system, to train a Spark AR engine to find this sign from different angles and from in the different light, day and night lights, to make it smoothly. And actually, we succeeded with this just in like 1 day and 1 night.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, the type of act, right, that you're working with, the type of demographic and just numbers that they generate. You're talking about one of the top acts in music globally, one of the biggest acts in music historically, and the type of numbers that they draw with this brand new state-of-the-art, you know, kind of spot on the timeline of history type of venue being opened. And so it was this incredible opportunity to create something around that that was integrated to the fans' experience. You know, the Sphere was a collaboration between the Madison Square Garden Company and Las Vegas Sands Corporation. It had seating for 18,600 people, including 10,000 immersive experience seats with an additional 20,000 standing capacity. For context, by the way, Madison Square Garden itself is 18,500 people capacity total. It had a structure measuring 366 feet It's 112 meters high and 516 feet or 157 meters wide at its broadest point. 160,000 square foot or 15,000 meters, LED screen with a 16K resolution and a 580,000 square foot exosphere exterior. It also featured the Sphere Immersive Sound spatial audio system that German company Holoplot had been used in other venues as well and had been rolling out in like the early Sphere productions. You might have noticed in the past week, U2 released a special film that you can now buy tickets and go see at the Sphere of their Sphere performance they use the Sphere Immersive Sound during the live performances, but they're also using it in the production of the film. They use special new film techniques to film the film spatially to create it specifically tailored for the interior of the Sphere production. So there's the interior Sphere production, the exosphere, and then around the Sphere is a good way to think of it, right? And so in our case, we got to build in the exterior. I think we are, there we go. The show was conceptualized over an 18-month period by U2's longtime production designer, Willie Williams, in collaboration with artist and designer Ez Devlin and architect Rick Lepson. The stage featured a minimalist design that was in the shape of a record player, borrowed from Brian Eno's art piece Turntable with an LED floor. Hospitality firm Vibe built an immersive interactive pop-up exhibit called the Zoo Station, a U2 UV experience that was created for fans that they could visit in the Venetian. So they built out their travel packages, with the Venetian, with the immersive experience downstairs, and then they could just go right outside and right over to the Sphere. Proceeds from the VIP tickets benefited RED, the organization co-founded by Bono to fight HIV and AIDS. U2 was reportedly paid $170 million for the 40 shows, including $10 million up front from James Dolan of MSG, and $4 million per show guarantee from Live Nation that was reportedly arranged by Irving Azoff and his son Jeffrey of Full Stop. The band's contract also included an option for them to continue performing at the Sphere for up to 2 more years. So they actually had that option to kind of create some possibilities and flexibility in terms of what they could do beyond the initial residency. They did 40 shows total. They did an initial 25 shows from September to December in 2023 that included dates that they then added to scale to the demand and number of submitted ticket requests in advance, plus a 15-concert extension to March of 2024. Rather than the prices being static, they used a dynamic pricing model that allowed them to fluctuate the pricing so that it changed and altered and adjusted to reflect the market demand on the secondary market, so it undercut scalpers, basically, and helped drive purchases directly to tickets for the residency itself. The total attendance of 663,000 people, roughly 6 times the attendance of Coachella, grossing $244.5 million from tickets sold alone, and then reportedly more than $250 million in total revenue at $256 million. Of all residencies to gross at least $100 million, it accomplished the feat in by far the fewest shows and became the 4th highest grossing concert residency of all time. And so as we look ahead now that we've done this project, it's still active. We don't know for how long, given the news just this week about, Meta's plans for AR, but, those things can change. What I can tell you is that for better or for worse, that is the future. When you look at the history of consumer culture and you look at the history of tech and their intersectory points, where tech becomes integrated to their lifestyle experience, but also affordable and accessible and easy to use, that's where it really becomes part of our lifestyle, right? And you have entire generations growing up right now in other apps like Snap and TikTok, where augmented reality is a part of their everyday life. You have even ones for utility, like Shazam, that could even evolve further and grow more in terms of how we interact with, the commercial ecosystem. So we're hopeful that we'll see maybe some more news on that front soon, because it's been really neat to be able to go on YouTube's Instagram and click on that filter and see our project there, still active, still going throughout the year, where people can walk up to the
Actually, we have
Welcome to Las
deadline
Vegas
for this
sign.
project now. It will be 14th of January 2025.
That's right, that's right. We're approaching a 1-year anniversary of the project, which is pretty exciting. So in terms of what, when we look at the benefits and opportunities that this is creating, you saw some of the different projects we've been connected with, including the production, being able to do live augmented reality production. When Willie was doing the visual design and production design for this, he encountered a lot of structural challenges within the sphere that he found not to be tailored for a touring act, in music, right? Those are two very different productions. So there was a lot of additions and things that they needed to build and things that they needed to make that, of course, came at additional costs. When you think in terms of augmented reality production, it helps create a way to boost ticket sales for those seats that are towards the back or standing room towards the back or high up, and create an experience where fans can interact, from far away. It gives people an opportunity to then create new and different types of ticket packages and experiences that you can sell as add-ons or integrated to your offerings when you're doing on sales. It also saves on money as a green alternative when you think about it, running things through people's handheld devices, as opposed to the traditional costs of sight and sound production coming from the stage. And so as we start to think about that, we're looking at ways to create more interactive participatory storytelling and gamified decision-making to generate intuitive smart data for personalization for fans, and designing and tailoring campaigns to that end, whether it's through tourism, with cities or museums, things along those lines, or whether it's in fan experiences at concerts and being able to create an integrated experience out into the city, that they can participate in. Eugene.
And
Yeah, you talked about user-generated content.
Yeah, I think what we learned, all the numbers which David is sharing of the audience who participated in U2 event in Las Vegas, for us, it was also these numbers of our show, because while we had and still have our Instagram effect, which people still using, we understood there is a different benefits which band and show are getting from that. It's a user-generated content, branded user-generated content, which make first fans are doing it, so they coming to the venue, they see this "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign doing the video, and then other people on there, without any knowledge about our show, about YouTube, they just see, oh, what you're doing here? Oh, I also want to do. So we're getting this wide amount of different people who are sharing this content, doing this content by themselves, and these kind of things we now doing for other shows, right, and our other big musical names.
Right, we have new projects with major artists, events, museums, and cities. We're launching a new collaborative that we invite any and all collaborators interested to connect with us who feel like you might have viable market cases for use and potential for collaboration in these spaces. We also are looking actively, we welcome collaborators, so please don't hesitate to reach out. We're going to be doing meetings in Paris and London just in the next couple weeks, and we're excited to connect with you, so please do say hello. And just wanted to thank David and Kelsey for all the hard work that they put into AWE Asia, and as always, Ori, for being the heart of AWE. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.